Think you know everything there is to know about dogs? Think again. While we know dogs as loyal companions and best friends, they also have some truly bizarre and fascinating traits that go unnoticed. In this video, we're uncovering 10 strange facts about dogs that might surprise even the biggest dog lovers. So grab a treat and get ready to learn some wild facts about our furry friends. It might sound strange, but dogs have an incredible sense of time, almost like a built-in alarm clock. You might have noticed that your dog seems to know when it's time to eat, play, or even when a family member is coming home. How do they do this without reading clocks? Research suggests that dogs rely heavily on their internal circadian rhythm, a kind of biological clock, to anticipate daily routines. Their sense of time isn't based on hours and minutes like ours, but rather on a sequence of daily events. For instance, they're sensitive to the changing light throughout the day and pick up on environmental cues like sounds and smells. Dogs are also incredibly observant. They learn to associate specific cues, like a family member's footsteps or a particular sound in the house, with certain actions or times of day. This allows them to predict when things will happen, down to the exact moment. In fact, some studies have even shown that dogs can distinguish between different durations of time. Dogs left alone for a short period, like 30 minutes, react differently than those left alone for a few hours. They seem to understand the passage of time and respond more enthusiastically the longer we're gone. So while dogs may not know what 2 p.m. means, they sense the rhythm of our daily lives. This sense of time is what makes them so adaptable to our schedules, and it's why they're always ready to greet us at the door right on cue. Did you know that every dog has a one-of-a-kind nose print? Just like human fingerprints, no two dogs have the same nose pattern. These patterns, made up of tiny ridges, bumps, and creases, are completely unique to each dog and serve as a natural identifier. A dog's nose is covered with these special patterns that develop from birth, and they don't change over time. This uniqueness in nose prints means that, in theory, a dog could be identified just by a scan of its nose. In fact, some countries have even started using nose print identification as a way to verify dogs in registration systems. It may sound futuristic, but there's actually a service that uses an app to identify lost pets using nose prints. Just like with fingerprints, if a dog's nose print was registered, you could identify it anywhere with a quick scan. This might be especially helpful in the future for dog shelters or missing pet organizations. But aside from practical uses, a dog's unique nose print is just one more fascinating feature of these incredible animals. It's as if every dog carries its own built-in ID, literally etched into its face. Have you ever yawned and noticed that your dog yawns right after? This isn't just a funny coincidence. It's actually a fascinating trait that shows how connected dogs are to us. In fact, dogs are one of the few non-human animals that can catch yawns from humans, and it might reveal something remarkable about their empathy and bond with us. Yawning contagion, as scientists call it, is rare among animals. Humans yawn when they see others yawn because of empathy, a subconscious way to connect with each other. But researchers have discovered that dogs, too, are likely to yawn when they see their human yawning. This suggests that dogs may have a unique capacity to empathize with us. Studies have shown that dogs are more likely to mimic the yawns of people they know and trust. This means that if your dog yawns when you do, it could be a sign of how closely bonded you are. It's like a silent message that says, "I understand how you're feeling." In one study, researchers found that nearly 70% of dogs yawned after watching their owners yawn, especially if they felt a strong bond with them. This kind of empathy is rarely seen in animals outside of primates, showing just how extraordinary dogs are. So the next time you're lounging on the couch and let out a yawn, keep an eye on your pup. You might just catch them yawning back as a sweet, silent show of connection. Dogs are famous for their keen sense of smell, but did you know that this superpower allows them to detect serious medical conditions? Their noses are so sensitive that they can pick up on subtle chemical changes in our bodies, which is how some dogs can alert people to health issues like diabetes, cancer, and even seizures. How does this work? Dogs have up to 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses, compared to our mere 6 million. This massive difference gives them the ability to detect tiny changes in scent, including those caused by illnesses. For example, dogs trained to detect diabetes can sense when blood sugar levels drop dangerously low, alerting their owners before a hypoglycemic episode hits. This isn't just theory, it's reality. Medical detection dogs are trained to recognize specific scents associated with certain health conditions. When it comes to cancer, for instance, research has shown that dogs can detect some types of cancerous cells in breath, sweat, and even urine samples. By identifying these biomarkers, some dogs have successfully alerted owners to cancers that hadn't been diagnosed yet. Dogs have also been shown to alert their owners before a seizure occurs. Those with epilepsy often rely on seizure alert dogs, who pick up on subtle changes in body chemistry or behavior just before an episode. This incredible sense allows people to prepare or move to a safe place before a seizure strikes. These skills are life-saving. In many cases, dogs provide vital early warnings that help people manage conditions and prevent emergencies. What's even more fascinating, some dogs can learn to detect medical conditions naturally, without formal training, just by being close to their humans and becoming familiar with their unique scents. So the next time your dog seems unusually attentive or concerned, remember that they might just be sensing something you can't. It's just one more reason why dogs are such extraordinary companions and a reminder of their incredible ability to look out for us. Have you ever noticed how dogs often curl up into a little ball when they sleep? While it may look adorable, this position is actually instinctual. When dogs curl up, they're doing more than just getting comfortable. They're protecting their vital organs. This behavior traces back to their wild ancestors. In the wild, wolves and other canines sleep curled up to shield their soft belly, where the most vulnerable organs are located. This position also keeps their muscles and vital areas protected from potential predators, even if most of our pets today are safe at home. But there's more to it than just protection. Curling up also helps dogs conserve body heat. When dogs sleep outside in colder weather, this position keeps their core warm by minimizing exposure. So, if you see your dog curled tightly on a chilly night, they're actually helping their body stay warm. This behavior is also a comforting, natural position for many dogs. Even when they're perfectly safe and warm, curling up helps them feel secure and cozy, similar to the way humans feel when bundled under blankets. Interestingly, some dog behavior experts believe that a dog's sleeping position can reveal their emotional state. When dogs sleep stretched out or on their backs with their bellies exposed, it's often a sign that they feel very safe and relaxed in their environment. But for many dogs, that classic curled-up position remains their instinctual safe zone. Whether it's a relic of their wild roots or just a way to feel cozy, curling up to sleep is one of those fascinating habits that shows how a dog's instincts are always at work even when they're off in dreamland. It's often said that dogs are experts at reading human emotions, and there's some fascinating science to back this up. Studies show that dogs can actually read our faces and interpret our emotions just by looking at us. This ability helps them connect with us on a deeper level, making them not just pets, but true companions. Research suggests that dogs use a process similar to humans called left gaze bias. When we look at faces, we tend to focus on the left side first, which is often more expressive. Dogs do the same thing. They look to the left side of our faces to pick up on subtle expressions. This behavior is rarely seen in other animals and is thought to have evolved as dogs became closer companions to humans. And it doesn't stop there. Dogs can tell the difference between happy, sad, and even angry faces. Studies have shown that dogs can match happy faces with happy vocal tones and angry faces with harsher tones, indicating that they're processing both visual and auditory emotional cues. This ability to read the room helps dogs understand when we need comfort or when to stay out of the way. So, when you're feeling down, don't be surprised if your dog comes over to nuzzle you. They can sense your sadness just by looking at your face. In fact, some research suggests that dogs may even experience stress when their owners are distressed, as they react empathetically to our emotions. One study even found that dogs' heart rates increase when they see their owners show stress or fear. This empathy-like response highlights the strong emotional bond between dogs and humans, built through thousands of years of companionship. No wonder they seem to know exactly what we're feeling. So the next time you look into your dog's eyes, remember, they're not just looking at you, they're understanding you. This emotional sensitivity is one of the many reasons why dogs are such incredible friends. Did you know that dogs can understand up to 250 words and gestures? This remarkable ability means that dogs aren't just guessing what we want. They actually recognize a vast vocabulary of words, sounds, and even gestures. This is why your dog seems to know exactly what walk or treat means. Studies have shown that the average dog can learn around 165 words, but some especially smart breeds, like border collies, can recognize up to 250 words and commands. In fact, one border collie named Chaser is famous for her impressive vocabulary. Over her lifetime, she learned the names of over 1,000 toys and could retrieve each one by name. An incredible feat that shows just how sophisticated a dog's understanding can be. So how do dogs do this? Dogs learn to associate certain sounds and gestures with specific actions or objects through repetition and reward. It's much like the way young children pick up language. With enough consistency, dogs can distinguish between subtle differences in words and learn complex commands. And it's not just about words. Dogs are also incredibly sensitive to our body language. They watch for subtle cues like pointing, nodding, and even eye direction to understand what we're asking of them. In fact, some studies suggest that dogs are better at understanding human gestures than even chimpanzees, who are much closer to us genetically. This understanding of both verbal and non-verbal communication is what makes dogs such excellent working animals. Guide dogs, for example, rely on complex commands and directional cues, while search and rescue dogs follow both voice commands and hand signals to locate missing people. It's a level of comprehension that goes far beyond basic obedience. So the next time you tell your dog to sit or stay, remember that they're not just responding to sounds, they're truly understanding you. This impressive language ability, unique among animals, helps make dogs some of the most loyal and intelligent companions in the animal kingdom. When it comes to hearing, dogs are in a league of their own. They can hear sounds up to 4 times farther away than we can. This incredible sense allows them to detect noises that are well beyond our range of hearing. And it's one of the reasons they seem to know things before we do. So what makes a dog's hearing so powerful? It all comes down to their ear structure and sensitivity. While humans hear in the range of 20 to 20,000 hertz, dogs can detect frequencies between 40 and 65,000 hertz, picking up higher-pitched sounds that we'll never hear. This includes things like the rustling of small animals or even the hum of electronics that are completely silent to us. Because of this incredible hearing, dogs often respond to things before we even realize they're there. For example, dogs often start barking long before a visitor reaches the door or a car pulls into the driveway. They're hearing the footsteps or engine sounds from far away, preparing for what's coming. Dogs' hearing is so sensitive that some studies suggest they can even detect sounds associated with changes in the weather. This might explain why some dogs get anxious during thunderstorms. Long before the storm even arrives, they're hearing distant rumbles that we can't detect yet. Because of these heightened senses, dogs are incredibly valuable in roles like search and rescue, police work, and even medical alert services. They can pick up on sounds from trapped individuals, alarms, and other signals that humans would miss in chaotic or noisy environments. So, the next time your dog barks at what seems like nothing, remember, it's probably picking up on sounds that are way beyond your range. Their super hearing is one of the many ways dogs are constantly aware of their surroundings, keeping an ear out for anything and everything that might come their way. Many dog owners swear that their pets have a sixth sense, an almost supernatural ability to pick up on things that people can't see, smell, or hear. This mysterious ability might sound like a myth, but there's actually some science behind why dogs can sense changes in their environment that go unnoticed by us. First, let's talk about their incredible senses of smell and hearing. Dogs' noses are tens of thousands of times more sensitive than ours, allowing them to detect subtle chemical changes in the air. This could explain why some dogs react before natural events like storms or earthquakes. Experts believe that dogs might pick up on shifts in air pressure, static electricity, or even gases released from the earth. During earthquakes, for example, there are countless stories of dogs acting restless or even trying to flee right before the tremors hit. Some scientists believe that dogs may be sensing vibrations from seismic activity, alerting them to danger before humans can feel a thing. In fact, studies have shown that certain animals, dogs included, often behave unusually in the hours leading up to an earthquake. But it's not just natural disasters. Dogs are also highly attuned to human emotions and health. Many people report that their dogs become extra attentive or clingy when they're feeling sad, stressed, or even unwell. This could be because dogs can detect changes in our body language, tone of voice, or even our scent when our emotions shift. Some studies suggest that dogs might pick up on the subtle release of pheromones or chemical signals from their owners' bodies when they're stressed or upset. This sensitivity helps dogs respond instinctively to comfort us during hard times or stay close when they sense something is wrong. And then there are the unexplained moments, times when dogs seem to sense a visitor approaching before they arrive, or when they suddenly alert their owners to something unusual in the house, like a gas leak or an electrical issue. Dogs' heightened awareness of their environment means they pick up on things that we miss, whether it's tiny noises, scents, or changes in routine. So, while we may not fully understand all the ways dogs sense changes in the environment, one thing is clear. They have an awareness that goes beyond our perception. This sixth sense is part of what makes dogs such loyal and protective companions, always one step ahead to keep us safe. Is it possible for dogs to experience love? Science says yes. Just like humans, dogs have the capacity to form deep emotional bonds with both people and other animals. But what exactly does love mean in the canine world? It turns out love in dogs isn't just a cute idea. It's backed by biology. When dogs interact with people or animals they're attached to, their brains release oxytocin, often called the love hormone. And this same hormone is responsible for the feelings of bonding and attachment in humans, especially between parents and children. Studies have shown that when dogs gaze into their owner's eyes, both the dogs and the humans experience a spike in oxytocin levels. It's a chemical response that's very similar to the bond between human parents and their children. So those warm, loving looks from your dog aren't just wishful thinking, they're signs of a genuine emotional connection. And it's not just humans. Dogs form strong bonds with each other as well. If you've ever seen two dogs who are inseparable, playing, sleeping, or grooming each other, those behaviors reflect their deep bond. In multi-dog households, dogs often create strong pair bonds with one another, showing affection by sharing space, grooming, or even bringing toys to each other. In fact, dogs can even experience grief and loss when a loved one, whether it's a human or another animal, passes away. Many dog owners notice changes in behavior, like a decrease in energy, a lack of appetite, or even a dog searching for the missing companion. This shows that the emotional depth of a dog's love and attachment goes beyond just instinct or routine. So yes, dogs truly can experience love, both toward us and toward each other. Their loyalty, affection, and strong bonds aren't just about food or routine. They come from a real, chemical-driven connection that makes them feel happiness, comfort, and even sadness in the presence or absence of loved ones. Whether they're gazing at you with loving eyes or happily playing with a fellow dog, remember that your dog's affection runs deep. Their hearts are just as big as their loyalty, reminding us every day why dogs are called our best friends. From detecting diseases to sensing our emotions, dogs are truly remarkable creatures with talents and abilities that go far beyond fetching sticks. So the next time you look at your dog, remember, they're more than just a loyal friend. They're an incredibly complex and fascinating animal. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to The Bazaar for more mind-blowing facts and curious discoveries. Thanks for watching, and give your dog an extra treat from us.